Alright, welcome into the Plan B Cell 75 here from Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mile. We're going to have super late models on tap here tonight. We're going to get set to go qualifying here very shortly. And then we will get underway with our racing action here tonight as we have looking at it here, about 14 cars that have taken time. We got 14 drivers in the session, gonna make it for the race as we get ready for qualifying. 30 seconds left here before we start our qualifying effort. And if it is anything like it was last week with the modified race at New Smyrna, we're in for another great treat here tonight. I know during practice we saw a few drivers having some issues on the exit of the corners. That's going to be one thing to look at with this track that is a kind of a mix between a Martinsville and a New Hampshire. A little bit of a banking like New Hampshire, the same distance as New Hampshire, but it's got that Martinsville feel to it. So we get started here for our qualifying. As Jonathan Smith is going to be looking for a driver. There we go. Robert Barber out on track here as we get set. See him take his first laps. Barber coming off of turn number 4 there, and this is where we saw right there. You see it. Barber got loose on the exit. Mark Whitley going to be quickest here. Quick time with a 30.54, 35.41 to be exact there for Whitley. As we go and we look here, let's go back here. Jonathan Smith in the 28 out on track. He runs at 30.849 for his lap. So Hazelton goes quick time with a 30.355, 30.35 for him there on his first lap. Shannon Wood out on track. As Wood takes the first lap here in qualifying. And Shannon Wood's going to run a 30.7 flat, 30.700 on lap number 1 there for Shannon Wood. You see Stephen Gregory is not out on track. So as we wait for the final 4 drivers to come out and run their qualifying effort, we got Livingston, Burgess, Sigmund, and Gregory who have yet to qualify. As of right now, it's going to be Hazelton, Whitley, Yoakum, Campbell, and Formosa, your top 5 here. So, and looking at the times, they're separated by top 5 separated by just 23/100ths of a second. And you got to go all the way back to 9th before you hit half a second. 9th place is 49/100ths of a second behind our current pole sitter, with 10th place being half a second back. And Joseph Burgess is out on track for his qualifying effort. Burgess starting lap number 1. Joseph Burgess is going to run at 31:24 for his first lap in qualifying. Let's see if he can pick up some time here on lap number 2. Burgess did not pick up any time, so he'll stick with that 31.224 for his qualifying time. So as we await qualifying, about 4 minutes left in qualifying. We have 3 drivers yet to qualify: Livingston, Sigmund, and Gregory. Just waiting for the end of qualifying. Then we'll get started with our racing action.
Hey, be nice to each other. You're the sucker.
Until about 3 minutes until we get going here. Just waiting on a driver to come out for their qualifying effort. We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left in our qualifying for the night. And it'll be the same format that was used for last week for the modifieds. Top 16 will qualify in. If there's more than 16, then we'll go and have a heat race where 8 more will qualify in to make up the 24 car feature field. We have 14 cars here tonight, so we will not need a heat. So we should go straight into a warm-up period after this, and then we'll get going with our 75 lap feature here tonight. A little bit of information going forward. We are at Milwaukee Mile tonight. And let me break out my calendar so I don't tell you guys the wrong information. Next week we will be at USA in the super late models. So Easter Sunday will be, not Easter Sunday. The Tuesday following Easter Sunday we will be at USA Speedway. And then April the 13th we'll be at South Boston in the modifieds for 75 laps there at South Boston. USA will be 100 laps next week. And then April the 20th we will be at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway for 100 laps there. I know a lot of these guys here are going to be looking forward to going to Nashville Speedway, or Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway rather, as qualifying comes to an end. And yes, we will go straight to our warm-up period, and then we will get going. But a lot of these guys come from the Nashville area and either race at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway or work there. So I know a lot of the guys are going to be looking forward to the Nashville race on April the 20th. And then April 27th we go to Myrtle Beach. So get ready here. We're gonna go through the warm-up period, and we look. There will be a couple of. I know May 11th there will not be a race. It'll just be practice and qualifying. So we'll do something a little different for you guys on May 11th. As these guys get ready for the short track nationals at Bristol Motor Speedway, 200 laps around Bristol. So we will do something a little different for you guys. We'll go live a little bit earlier into the practice session. We'll let you guys, see these guys testing and tuning on these cars and filling out their setups, and then we will be back live the next week. Lost my train of thought there. We'll be live the next week with with the short track super late model nationals. May 25th. May 25th will be a double header. So it'll be a little bit longer of a race. I believe. I will get with Robert and we'll go over the May 25th details so that I can get them out to you guys as soon as possible. But it is a double header. So Should have 2 races that night. And, looking at the schedule here, we go all the way until November the 30th. So quite a long schedule here, and we are in the early stages of it. Last week, super late model, or 2 weeks ago rather, super late models were at New Smyrna for 150 laps. There's 75 laps here this week. So about a minute left here in practice, and then we will get going with our 75 lap feature event of the evening. Yeah, so about 30 seconds, we'll get going. So we'll have 14 drivers starting the race and going 75 laps here, or 75 miles around the Milwaukee Mile here. And while we wait, let's go ahead and get some information here. So it is located at the Wisconsin State Fair Park in West Allis, Wisconsin. And looking at it, the 9.5 degrees banking in the corners, 2.5 on the straightaways as we get you your Plan B cells. Starting grid here, it's going to be Hazlitt on your front, on your pole. Whitley second, Yoakum third, Campbell in fourth, Formosa fifth, Jackson sixth, Shannon Wood will be in that 7th spot, John Fowler will be in 8th, 9th will be Jonathan Smith, Robert Barber 10th, 11th will be Joseph Burgess, Doug Sigmund will be in 12th, Stephen Gregory will be 13th, and Gerald Livingston will be in that 14th and final starting position here tonight as we get set to go. 75 laps, the distance here in the Plan B cells, 75 from the Milwaukee Mile. Alright, pace car should pull in here. There we go. It ducks on down into the very tight pit road. Green flag in the air. And Mark Whitley with a great start on that outside. As he gets up there, takes over the lead very early. Don't count out Justin Hazlitt yet. Hazlitt had the speed there in qualifying and practice. he could get back up there very quickly as we come to complete lap number 1 with Whitley as our race leader here. Whitley, the race leader. We look further back here. Shannon Wood. Shannon Wood is stuck up on the outside. And Robert Barber is going to get by for the 8th position. And if Shannon Wood is not careful, they're going to lose a spot to John Fowler. There, doing battle for that 9th position there. Look a little bit further ahead. Jared Jackson in that 15. He's trying to pull away from Scott Formosa and trying to chase down Randy Yoakum. As he is sitting there in that 5th spot. He's lost a little bit of time from Yoakum. Formosa has closed in on him just a little bit. We'll go back and check in with John Fowler, Shannon Wood, and Stephen Gregory. As Fowler continues to stalk Wood for the 9th position. And Fowler is going to look to the inside. Didn't quite have it there. Fowler is going to have the inside position going down the back straightaway, setting up for a good turn 3 for him. So he's able to get around Wood. And he brings Gregory with him, so Wood loses 2 positions there in 3 and 4. Go back up front, Hazelton. Still right there with Whitley. So Hazelton not giving up on taking back over the race lead just yet. Whitley, Hazlet. Probably Hazlet. I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, Justin. If I am, I do apologize. But Hazlet, Whitley, separated by just 0.2 of a second there. Look a little bit further back, Formosa has closed in on Jared Jackson. And those two are separated just a little bit, about 0.2 of a second. Jonathan Smith in there as well. He's looking, trying to get around Formosa. And then you got Robert Barber back there in 8th. Now, Formosa and Smith are no strangers to each other as they did battle for 6+ months last year, trying to do battle for a championship in the super late model division, and they are going after each other once again. Looking at it, it's going to be Whitley, Hazlet, Campbell, Yoakum, Jackson, your top 5. Formosa, Smith, Barber, Fowler, Gregory, your top 10. And there we go. Smith gets around Formosa for the 6th spot. And Barber too far back to capitalize on that. look a little bit further back here. Shannon Wood trying to chase down Stephen Gregory for the 10th spot. Hazlett and Campbell closing back in on Whitley. As they get very close to these corners, the gap shrinks to right around a tenth of a second. And we'll see what Hazlett in that 57 can do to get around Whitley. And see if Campbell can't capitalize and get around both of these guys. So we look a little bit further back. Barber closing in on Formosa now. And they are losing ground to Jonathan Smith pretty quickly. Smith has already pulled out to over half a second already. Back up front, the battle between the top three. It's Whitley, Hazlett, and Campbell. Those two are separated, or those three are separated by less than half a second. Now I think the top 9 were separated by this much of a difference, essentially through qualifying, as Campbell loses a little bit of ground there. It looks like maybe Campbell got loose there off of 2. A little bit further back, it looks like Barber had an issue, and that's going to bring out a caution here. Our first caution, our first Plan B sales caution of the day here from Milwaukee. Make sure you guys use the promo code Sim500 for free shipping over $20 when you go to planbsales.com. Looking at the replay here, Barber just breaks loose on exit and does a good job of not hitting that inside wall. Look and see who's going to take a pit stop here, but it's going to be Whitley, Hazlett, Campbell, Yoakum, Jackson, Smith, Formosa, Fowler, Gregory, Wood, Barber, Sigmund, Livingston, and Burgess, your running order. As it looks like Whitley is going to come down pit road, so that's going to give the race lead over to Justin Hazleton, or Hazlett. Saw Livingston and tried to combine Livingston and Hazlett there. So working our first caution here on lap number 18. We will be back after this. Alright, and we are back here with a great in-car view here with Hazlitt. Right there behind that pace car. Which is what should be a Toyota pace car. As we are getting ready to go back green flag racing here on lap, well, what will be lap 20. Pace car pulls in. This is a very weird pit stop to get in, or pit lane to get into. As green flag comes back out, and Hazlitt with a great jump here on this restart. Hazlitt will be our race leader here on lap number 20. A little bit further back, we got some battling going on. Jonathan Smith, he's lost a spot to Randy Yoakum, and now he's going to lose a spot to Shannon Wood. And he'll probably lose a spot to Scott Formosus. Formosus to the inside of him, and yes, he will. He will lose a spot. We have a few cars going around. We're going to have a caution out on the track, so we're going to see what happened here. So we go and see exactly what happened. Looking at it here, the 22 got loose and Barber right there. Barber had nowhere to go, and a few other cars got caught up in it. So, working our second caution of the day here for the Plan B sales. 75 from Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Mile Speedway. Make sure you use promo code Sim500 for free shipping on any order over $20. And we'll be back shortly as they continue to work through this caution. Alright, as these guys get lined up and get ready to go back racing here, it's going to be Hazlitt, Jackson, Campbell, Whitley, Gregory, Yoakum, Wood, Formosa, Smith, Sigmund, Fowler, Burgess, Barber, and Livingston. Your running order as Justin Hazlitt is our race leader. His car is off. Green flag back in the air for Hazlitt. He gets another good start here on this restart. And from what I am noticing here is when you get up above that asphalt, the dark asphalt patch, you lose some time. If you're down there inside that darkened asphalt patch, you're able to really book it through these corners. So We're going to go and we will look for a battle on track here. We go back here. Scott Formosa looking to the inside of Shannon Wood. He's going to take over that 7th spot from Wood. Let's look back here. Burgess. Lap down. Barber sitting on pit road. Continuing his repairs as he continues to lose a lap here throughout this race. Back up here, Jonathan Smith, Shannon Wood doing battle here for the 8th spot. And there goes Formosa around, and that should bring out a caution. Yes, it will. It has not been good for the 80 and the 88 here today. We go to watch this replay here. He just breaks extremely loose, and you see there the 5 broke loose in front of him. Formosa does a great job of not letting it bounce back up onto the track. So it'll be Hazlett, Campbell, Whitley, Jackson, Yoakum, Gregory, Wood, Smith, Fowler, and Formosa. Your top 10. As we continue. Run here as we're closing in on halfway. We'll be halfway here in just a handful of laps. So continue to work our 3rd caution here. When you go to planbsales.com, use promo code Sim500 at checkout to save. Well, to get free shipping on any order over $20. And while we have time here, let me go and check this out. So you can get anything. You can get die-cast apparel, autographed die-cast helmets. You can get die-cast for just about anything. So, if you're looking to add to your die-cast collection, go and check out planbsales.com. As we get set here to go back racing, Justin Hazlett is our race leader, and he gets a great restart yet again here on lap number 32. Lap 32 restart for Hazlett. That is a fantastic one as he gets out in front of Whitley. But Whitley tried to chase him down. Stephen Gregory. Gregory is moving up. He's on the inside of Shannon Wood. And Wood is going to lose another spot to Jonathan Smith. And Wood could potentially even lose another one to Glenn Campbell. And Campbell's going to be the inside of Wood for the 7th spot now as Campbell tries to work his way back through the field as he gets around Wood. And potentially John Fowler going to be the inside as well. Shannon Wood going the wrong way here as Wood continues to lose time and track position. And Wood is stuck on that outside, and that is what I was talking about during the last green flag run. If you get stuck on the up above that dark asphalt patch, you have issues, and you had a car go off the track. That is the 19 of Joseph Burgess. Joseph Burgess got loose on the exit there. We go back up front to Hazlett as he has opened up a gap to Mark Whitley. Almost half a second between Hazlett and Whitley as we are closing in on halfway. We'll be halfway, just a couple of laps here. About a lap and a half now. We'll be halfway through this race. Looking for a battle on track. Go back here to Glenn Campbell as Campbell gets to the inside of Gregory through 1 and 2, and Campbell up inside the top 5 yet again. As he pitted during that last yellow flag. And he has driven his way back up inside the top 5, right behind Randy Yoakum now. Yoakum in that 4th position. Jared Jackson, he's been quietly making his way up to the front. He was running 2nd during that last restart. Whitley was able to get around him, so puts Jackson back into the 3rd position. But a very solid and strong run here for Jared Jackson inside the top 3 at a very difficult track. Milwaukee Mile is not a easy track to run, especially these cars, high speed, low grip cars. We go back here, Jonathan Smith trying to get around Shannon Wood. Wood is able to get in line here and prevent losing any more time as Fowler got around Wood. And now Fowler looking to try to get around, and yes he will. He got around Stephen Gregory there in turn 1 and 2 as we have a car spun off the track as I believe that was Robert Barber who was coming out of pit road. As we are up over halfway through this race now. Go back up front, Hazlett opened up a couple tenths more to Mark Whitley. Go back here. Let's go back to Shannon Wood. Wood is trying to get around Stephen Gregory as Formosa dropped a spot there, so that moved Wood up. inside of Gregory down the back straightaway, and Wood is going to bring Jonathan Smith with to the inside of Gregory. So move Gregory down 2 spots in one corner there, as Shannon Wood and Jonathan Smith both got by Stephen Gregory there in turns 3 and 4. And now looking, Shannon Wood is looking to chase down John Fowler for the 6th spot. Hazlett continues to pull away from Whitley, up to 1.2 second gap between those guys. Now, as we look here, keep an eye on the top 4 there. Hazlett, Whitley, Campbell, and Jackson. As Campbell is steadily chasing down our top 2 drivers. He was 5th just a handful of laps ago, but almost 10 laps ago. Campbell was in 5th spot, and he has chased down Yoakum and Jackson both to take back over the 3rd position. As we look back here, Yoakum and Jackson, they're about 3/10 of a second away from each other. We'll take it down to 2/10. Now, as Yoakum closes in on Jared Jackson for the 4th spot. Continue to watch the battle here for the 4th position start to heat up. We'll keep an eye on it here. Fast time on track. We'll do this the easy way. We will get the fastest lap. Show it up here. Mark Whitley with a 30.580. 30.58 for Whitley. That is quick time here in the race. Go back up to our race leader. He just ran at 31.33. We'll watch his laps, his lap timer here. See what Hazlett is able to run here. 31.36. So he's not really losing all that much time. So he was at a 31.33 last time by, and this time by he was at a 31.36. So he loses about 0.03 of a second there. But he's still running about 0.02 of a second quicker a lap than Whitley. So he's able to continue to pull away, as it's now a second and a half between Whitley and Hazlett. Campbell and Whitley doing battle here for the 2nd spot as it is heated up. As they are separated by just 0.2 of a second there. And that is a battle for the 2nd position. While we have a long green flag run tomorrow night, Wednesday night I think it should be Dirty Old Bastards, right there on Facebook. Their sprint car series and their big block modifieds. And then on Sunday night, over on twitch.tv/Premier Race Network, we'll have a Cup Series race with the Premier Race Network Racing League. Monday night we will be back with the Fixed Setup Sim League, and then next Tuesday night we'll be right back here with the Sim500 Esports Racing League as we continue to watch the battle here for the second spot rather. As, they have maintained that gap between those two throughout the race here. And looking a little bit further back here, go check in with Stephen Gregory. Trying to chase down Shannon Wood for the 8th spot, as Wood lost a couple of spots to Smith and Wood just a handful of laps ago, and Gregory trying to chase Wood back down. And Gregory's going to look to the inside into 3 and 4. Missed the entry point there. Both Wood and Gregory did. And they're both going to manage to hang on there, as that could have been a very disastrous move. Both of them go back up front here. Glenn Campbell trying to chase down and get around Whitley. So as these guys continue to do battle here for the 3rd spot, we'll go back and Jonathan Smith trying to chase down John Fowler for the 6th spot, as we are 20 to go. Less than 20 to go. So a couple small little battles here on track as these guys continue to spread out, as we are in the midst of a good green flag run here. Back up front, Hazlett, still your race leader by about 2 seconds now. Almost 2.1 seconds. The difference between Hazlett and Whitley for the race lead here, which looking at it, Hazlett, Whitley, Campbell are our top 3, with Jared Jackson, Randy Yoakum rounding on our top 5 here. Hazlett, Whitley, Campbell, Jackson, Yoakum, Fowler, Smith, Gregory, Wood, and Sigmund, your running order here. We have 3 cars out of this race. Livingston, Barber, and Formosa, as those 3 are out of this race here. They've been out quite some time, as we're going to be 15 to go this time by, so we'll have 15 laps remaining in this race. Look here for a battle on track. Jonathan Smith closing in, as Stephen Gregory was able to get around Shannon Wood. And now he's starting to chase down Jonathan Smith and John Fowler. Smith trying to get around Fowler for the 6th position. He isn't quite there yet, as Fowler goes in to protect the low side there, and he's going to drift up. That's going to help Jonathan Smith on the exit of turn 2, as he's going to be to the inside of Fowler, and he's going to set up turn 3 to get that 6th position away from Fowler, and he does by a nose there. And now he's going to be clear of him, and Smith can set sail and try to chase down Randy Yoakum for a top 5 here. So look up here to Justin Hazlett. Hazlett has started to lap some of the cars who were collected in that first caution. It was a big caution. So, Hazlett, Whitley, Campbell, Jackson, and Yoakum, your top 5. As we are closing in on 10 to go here. So we have 12 to go right now. So 12 laps remaining in this race, coming to 11 to go. Hazlett, Whitley, Campbell, Jackson. Looking for a battle. Stephen Gregory has chased down John Fowler, and this battle is heating up for the 7th position. Gregory ran him down because that gap was up close to a second. It was like 9/10 of a second. Now it's down to right around 3/10 as we have 10 to go. 10 laps remain in this race. So Hazlett continuing to lead this race. He took over after the first caution and has not looked back. Hazlett is doing a good job. Even with tire wear, he's doing a good job. And here he comes. He ducks down pit road. Has to stop and get fuel. Whitley takes over our race lead. And that is part of the battle here, is managing fuel. And he did a good job to get 67, 68 laps out of the fuel run. So, with Whitley taking over the race lead because Hazlett had to pit for fuel, that completely changes dynamic here, as we're going to have 6 laps to go this time by. And let's go check in with Hazlett, who is right in front of the race leader now. And that is the difference here of a green flag stop. As you see there's Hazlett And there is Whitley, so not that much, about a half a straightaway, the difference between Whitley and Hazlett. Those first two, one of the last cars, the last car on the lead lap of Hazlett. So, strategy didn't play out for him here. Especially, I mean, we had those 3 cautions that were very quick and very early in this race. We had all 3 of them before halfway. As we have 5 laps to go. Looking at the race here, we're on lap 72 now. And Whitley pitted 54 laps ago. So Whitley is good on fuel. But does Glenn Campbell have enough to get up there and make a charge to take over the race lead and win this race late in the race? Randy Yoakum in third. Yoakum is 3 seconds back of our race leader. Glenn Campbell has closed in as he's cut that gap down from right around 2 seconds down to right around a second, 9/10 of a second here. And he keeps fluctuating. It's right at 1.1 seconds. So 3 laps to go. Make it 2 now. We'll have 2 laps remaining in this race. Whitley, Campbell, Yoakum. And Campbell trying to throw everything he can to get up there to have a chance at the race lead. But I believe he's going to come up just short on that. As the white flag is going to come out for Mark Whitley here. So 1 more mile for Mark Whitley. And Hazlett has picked up another spot. He moves back up into the 8th position there. Just an update on the former race leader as Whitley comes out of turn number 4 and heads down the front straightaway here. And Mark Whitley is going to win today's race from the Milwaukee Mile in the Plan B Sales 75. Whitley winning today's race. And we'll take just a moment and then we will look at our results of today's race. So it's going to be Mark Whitley, your winner. Glenn Campbell in 2nd. Randy Yoakum 3rd. Jonathan Smith 4th. Stephen Gregory 5th. John Fowler 6th. Shannon Wood 7th. Justin Hazlett battles back from the late race pit for fuel to get the 8th position. Then you're going to have Doug Sigmund in 9th. Jared Jackson 10th. 11th will be Joseph Burgess. Scott Formosa 12th. Robert Barber 13th. And Gerald Livingston will be in that 14th and final spot. We'll have post-race interviews coming up here shortly. We have our third place finisher, Randy Yoakum. And Randy, you had a great qualifying run. You started third and battled throughout the race to stay up close to the front. And through pit strategy, you were able to eventually propel yourself back up into the podium here tonight.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say that it was strategy. Quite frankly, I took my tires a little bit sooner than I wanted to, and that's what was the difference between Glenn and I. Glenn was getting around the track really, really super great. I did not even I guess what confused me, and I was probably thinking about this more than I was thinking about my driving line was I thought the 77. I didn't even see him pit. So if that was his strategy, it really paid off for him. But it was a good race nonetheless. It's been many a day since I've been here, so I'm happy to come out of here with the third. That's for sure.
Yeah, and to do it on come out here with the third at a track like Milwaukee, it's very difficult. It's sort of a cross between a Martinsville and a New Hampshire sort of a layout, and it's very tricky to get around here.
That it is. You just really have to. You can't get in too hard, and you can't slide it that much coming off, or you're just going to tear up your right sides, and that's not going to be any good for you in the long run. By the way, appreciate you guys picking up the broadcast here. We love that. We also are trying to build this series right now with some good quality drivers. So I'd like to reach out to anybody that would be considering that because it is a good short track experience and whatnot. The events aren't long, and we travel to most of the good venues. But hopefully, we can be building on that.
All right. Well, Randy, we'll let you finish thinking any sponsors, get out of here and enjoy the night, the rest of the night.
Yeah, I got to thank Snap Mobile Shop. They're actually the lead banner on our Wednesday night series, but we've got a few great things coming along with that. So anyhow, again, appreciate you guys picking up the broadcast, and hopefully see you soon.
All right, we got our second place finisher, Glenn Campbell, and Glenn, heck of a job there. You started fourth, had a very solid starting position, and we saw early on you got up there very quickly, and you were running inside the top three, and then strategy paid off for some and didn't really work for others, as we saw Hazlett have to pit late in the race for fuel, as there wasn't another caution after the halfway point.
Well, you're right, Joshua. I knew I thought fuel was going to be an issue, so I said somewhere I'm going to take tires and take on fuel, make sure I made it. And you know, I didn't. I was not had nothing for the 57 car for sure. He was class of the field, and I didn't realize he never stopped. I thought, well, he's going to make it on fuel, and then when he had to pull over for fuel, I said, oh, he should have looked there. He needed a couple gallons just to make sure. Maybe he thought it'd be another caution or two to save him, but that was too far to go. He was class of the field. He should have won. I'm just fortunate to come out in second.
Yeah, and was talking a little bit with Randy. You know, Milwaukee is a very tough track, and the other thing is not only is it a tough track, but it's got a very tough pit road to get onto.
It is tough, but if you've been there before, you realize what you got to do. And then, like I was the only one that came down pit road that last lap 35 or 40 or whatever it was, and you know, I got my tires and I said, let me go up. I got new tires and I was able to. It took me a little bit to get through the traffic and run them down. Got up to Mark, but that's as far as I could get. And then I fell off of him, and the race was over for me. I was just happy to finish in second place. Congrats to Mark, and unfortunately for Justin, you know, he bit the bullet and pit strategy bit him.
All right, well, we'll let you thank your sponsors, get out of here, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well, obviously, I want to thank Sim500, Trans Service, Monday night sponsor. Appreciate all those guys putting their efforts and supports, and you guys, the admins here. It was a great show tonight. I had a fun. Car count was getting a little bit up, and you know, Shannon yelled at me, said, "Hey, come race with us tonight." And I said, "I'll come back." I hadn't been racing on a couple Tuesday nights. Cut through weeks, been busy, but it was fun to come back. Appreciate being invited, and I look forward to doing it again.
All right, we've got our race winner, Mark Whitley. And Mark, you started off the drop, the green flag. You were able to get the jump and get out there and lead to the first caution. You chose that time to stop and get some fuel so that you could make it throughout the rest of the race for fuel at least. And then you were able to battle back through the field and be there and capitalize at the end of the race.
Oh yeah, I gotta give a shout out to my teammate Jonathan. He was running the race too. He was the one we were gridding up, and he was like, "Hey, did you take a look at the fuel?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm actually about to look at it." And he's like, "Well, we're not going to make it, so we're going to have to pit." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then that first caution came out, and I was like, "Well, this is about good as time as any. Go ahead and make sure we make it to the end." And actually, speaking of the start, I don't know, I that was a start of my life right there, because it went green. I nailed the gas. I don't know if he was sleeping or what, but I mean, I got a hell of a jump on him, and he was the class of the field in practice and qualifying, so I knew the only chance I was ever going to have is if I could get in front of him and just hold him off, which is what I kind of did. I mean, I was holding him up a little bit, but I mean, with these cars, it's pretty much about just trying to stay in front of him and, you know, just trying not to get him a run. He had a couple chances there where he could have maybe took a peek, but he decided better of it, and then came down after that caution and didn't start too far back and just kind of stayed patient, and then started having the cautions. I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't think these cautions are going to make him be able to make it, but we'll see. And then got that final green flag run. We went to the end. I don't know how many laps it was, but we were just sitting there going, and I was sitting there like, all right, cool. I mean, if I'm sitting here, I'm not going to burn my stuff up trying to pass him because he should run out. And I started second guessing myself at about 20 to go, and I was like, he might have enough. I don't know. And then I saw him drop low on the back straightaway, and he came around. I came around 3 and 4, and I saw him going into the pits, and I was like, yes, that's what I was planning on it. And just had to hold off Glenn there. I know I was a little worried because he pitted that last yellow flag and took tires out. I knew he got right up on my back bumper, and I knew I had to keep him behind him because I knew if it went green, it was going to be between me and him, and I had to do everything I could to keep him behind me. But I was talking to him after the race, and he said he kind of burned himself up getting up there. So he once he got up there, he couldn't really do anything. And then I kind of walked back away from him, and then after that, it was just about hitting my marks, making sure I didn't make any mistakes, and just kind of babying this thing home, taking the checker flag. Kind of wasn't expecting it. I didn't even own the track until about 2 minutes before the race started. Jumped in the. I was like, oh, I got to buy the track, and I jumped in the session. Actually watched, took a couple peeks at Justin's laps, trying to get an idea on how to be faster on here, and I kind of modeled it by there and kind of tweaked it a little bit. And I knew for just on speed, he had me covered, but little bit of strategy there at the beginning of the race really played into our favor.
Yeah, and you know, you talked about you know, the car and the track. You know, I covered it with the other two guys. The track's very hard. It's a very difficult track to drive. But then you add the car combo to a track like Milwaukee, and these cars, they don't have a lot of grip in them. So you add it to a track like Milwaukee, and then we start seeing like what we saw here tonight: cars spinning off, coming off the corners, because they, you know, just a track car combo, which makes this series unique. Is we're taking a car that you wouldn't normally see at some of these tracks, and we're putting them on these tracks, and it's a little bit different for some of you guys, or a lot of you guys with the car track combo, but you know, it's talking about you know, the car track combo, and it just making it for a whole new set of challenges.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially with this being a pretty much a whole brand new car. I didn't have a lot of experience with the old Super, so this is still kind of a learning experience for me. But new track, a new kind of car, so I feel like everybody's kind of on a more level playing field than if we were still running the old one. But yeah, I'm used to running the kind of bigger NASCAR stuff, so I feel like that was able to kind of transfer a little bit of my technique over, because on a little bit bigger track, I know these Supers are normally on half mile and shorter tracks, so I was able to kind of use some of my other experience there, and it was tough, especially at the beginning of the run before the track got rubbered in. It was treacherous. If you tried to plant the power too soon, you're going to either wind up on the inside wall, or you're going to wind up tank slapping the outside wall. But it was toward the end of the run, the track got real rubbered in, so you could really kind of stomp it coming off and not really worry about it. Especially if you had taken care of the tires, it started actually getting a little snug there coming off, so you had to be careful you didn't plow the wall down. But it was definitely a tricky combination, especially, like I said, trying to figure it out here 30 minutes of practice before. That's about all experience I have on the track, but I think it worked out pretty good.
All right, well, Mark, we'll let you thank your sponsors to get out of here and enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, well, I want to thank my parents tuning in. I think they were watching the broadcast, and I want to thank my teammate Jonathan Smith, Driven Motorsports. Made this beautiful race car for me, and I want to thank you for putting on the broadcast. Should be fun to go back and watch it later tonight.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here for our coverage of the Sim500 Esports Racing League, presented by PlanBSales.com with the Super Late Model Series, and going back over the schedule here. Next week we will be at the USA Speedway, which is another, flat mile, half mile track, and it's going to be for another interesting race, so make sure you tune in for that. Tomorrow night, Dante should have the Dirty Old Bastard Sprint Car and Big Block Modified Series, as those series are coming to a close. Sunday night over on twitch.tv/Premier Race Network, we'll have the coverage of the Premier Race Network Cup Series. Monday night we will have the Fixed Setup Sim League Cup Series, and then on Tuesday we'll be right back here with the Sim500 Esports Short Track Series, presented by Plan B Sales, Circle B Diecast, and we need to thank Plan B Sales. Go over to planbsales.com, buy all your diecast needs over there, and then use promo code Sim500 to save on your or to get free shipping on any of your purchases over $20. But until next week, have a great week, have a great weekend. We'll catch you right back here next week. Stay safe, be careful, take care of yourselves, do what you guys need to do to protect yourselves, and be kind to one another. We'll see you back here next week.